Hey everybody, welcome to the Garage Strength Podcast. No Dane today. Where's he at? We got DJ instead. DJ's the head trainer, one of the head trainers.
He's currently in Spain.
Yeah, he's in Spain.
Junior Worlds Olympic weightlifting.
Oh, he's doing Junior World weightlifting. Last week he was coaching Jaime, right?
Yep, in Rome.
How'd she do? I don't even know how she did.
She did well. She threw 66 something.
Nice.
Got third. Diamond League finals. That's a huge meet. It's like basically the Olympics.
Yeah. Except they have it every year.
Yeah.
Instead every 4 years, so they can make a whole spectacle of it and then copyright claim every single thing anyone other than them and NBC do on it. Yeah, that type of thing.
I guess that
I said that out
before.
loud, sorry. What? Yeah, never before.
Definitely getting cut.
Yeah, no. Whatever. I guess they paid the cost to be the boss, but here's this big spectacle. Everyone say hi. Give us your eyes.
Diamond League finals are just as exciting.
Probably the same athletes or very similar athletes, except they do it every year.
Yeah.
Just it's harder to, I want to say it, use however many sports are in the Olympics to collectively say, hey, look at what these people do year in and year out behind the scenes.
Just keep training.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Never stop. Year in and year out. 12 years, 14, your whole life.
Discus, yeah. Probably about.
Whatchamacallit, Jason Molina, Magnolia Electric Company has this one lyric. He goes, spent half my life on the road. And then the next line, half my life I didn't choose. And I don't know. It's like the same thing. Like, spent half my life training, the other half.
I mean, realistically, that's what it is. Like, Sam's going for another 4 years.
Yeah.
That'll put him at 32, 31, low 30s.
Getting in another decade
You're almost at your median life expectancy there.
Jeez, man. That was very macabre of you there.
Just saying, it's literally half your life.
Oh, I know. We are going to be talking about essentially what it takes to go D1, right? No, this isn't the D1 one. About two D1 athletes, I should say.
Correct.
Specific D1 athletes from Garage Strength and what they've been doing in NCAA football. Are they both Power 5? Is Pitt Power 5?
Oh, yeah.
What's Pitt in?
They are...
What is it? Is it Big
12, I believe.
I don't
Big
follow
12.
it. They didn't pay them until
Virginia.
recently.
They just play West Virginia.
So it's a Big 12 school now?
I believe so.
With 24 schools in the conference?
Yeah, same with the Big 10 that has 20-plus schools in there now.
They should be the big conference and the bigger conference.
I mean, it's essentially coming to that where there's going to be like 5 conferences and that's it. That's how the playoffs set up.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the 4 main conferences, SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12. And then the 5th spot is technically the other conference winner, but it's literally labeled as like all the other conferences, and the best team of all of them conferences is the 5th seed. And they don't get a bye.
That's how like Boise State would get in or something like that, or
or like shouting out T with Texas State.
Okay.
That's how Texas State would get in if they win that.
Got it. As you can see, everyone, I don't have cable, so I don't watch this stuff, and I don't have any. I think I have Hulu. I got Hulu just to watch NBA Finals this year.
Oh jeez, I mean, I got all the cable, but I only watched the athletes that came through here for college football.
You love some sports. My brother went and saw LSU play down at South Carolina.
Well, that was a crazy game
this weekend. Yeah,
they were losing that entire game.
Well, they didn't lose.
LSU won.
They didn't lose
at the very end.
Pulled it off. All right, let's talk about Let's start off. The two athletes are Brandon George and Nick Singleton. And hey, subscribe, download our app, give us a 5-star review, write something spectacular about how great this is. Garage Strength Podcast. We appreciate all of you listening. Right, DJ?
Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about Brandon or Nick first? Because you have a bunch of numbers written down. And
let's actually talk with an honorable mention.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm throwing you a curveball here. So Cameron Stewart.
He is at Temple, right?
He is at Temple. He was at Rutgers.
So he went from New Jersey to Philadelphia.
Stewart, yeah, he had... I know that they got killed against Oklahoma, but he had a really good game against Oklahoma. He had a couple he had a tackle for loss. He had a sack.
Do they count that as two different stats, or is that like you get a 1 in each mark?
So tackle for a loss is not a sack.
Okay.
Yeah.
But behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So running back, screen, receiver, something like that. And then you get the quarterback sack.
Shout out to Cam. Crushing it at Temple right now.
Another D1.
Another D1. He's one that kind of is doing well at Temple. He's getting his shot at Temple. At Rutgers, he didn't get too much playing time at Rutgers. Okay. But at Temple, he's kind of coming into his own, and he's doing well.
Having success.
I think he has 2 sacks on the year, actually.
That's good.
Now.
Is he starting?
I don't know if he's starting.
He's a rush end, right?
He is. So he's definitely getting significant time. I don't know that he's necessarily considered a starter.
All right. But he gets in there down in distance. He gets
a lot of playing time, yeah.
He'll get in. Yeah, it almost seems like it has become so specialized at the upper levels. Like starter is just
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's like, all right, it's third down now. Like I'm in type of thing. Like packages.
Yeah, exactly. With the packages and stuff, and depending what your role is, like if you're a 3-4 D end, that your specialty is stuff in the run, you still might, depending on how the game goes, you might only play 40% of the snaps,
Right.
So starter's very vague term at this point.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's talk, since we were on defense, let's stay on defense. Let's talk about Brandon then. So I have some stat numbers for this year that so far he has 20 tackles, 3 of them solo, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, and against Kent State, he actually had 7 tackles, and that was basically his 2 tackles for loss, his sack, and his forced fumble. And then he also had a big special team play too then, right?
Yeah, so this past weekend on a blocked punt, he had a 24-yard punt return touchdown.
All right.
On a blocked punt against West Virginia, and they had a big upset there.
Scoop and score.
Yeah, I think the score was 38-34.
Man, I have a friend
big time
from growing up, like at his wedding, when I see him type of thing. Huge West Virginia fan.
Ooh,
he was probably feeling it. Yeah.
It was at West Virginia too.
Oh, that must have been brutal.
Yeah.
That Country Roads Take Me Home must have been a real sad version.
I forgot about that song until I was at a wedding a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They played that song, and now I can't get it out of my head.
It's a good song.
It is a good song.
But I'm pretty sure West Virginia plays it like...
I think they do. I think
every game, like they win too. They blast it. It's a good song. Johnny Denver.
Yeah. Yeah, but Brandon had a heck of a game, against West Virginia as well. So he's 3 for 3 and crushing it this year so far.
That's good. Let's talk a little bit about when Brandon was like here before he got D1 off the pit. Some of the things he was doing in the garage, basically in the gym. Like, how young was he when he started training here?
So Brandon started in 7th grade. He started with a couple kids from Berks Catholic. They all started coming here together. There was like 5 or 6 of them. Brandon was always kind of the bigger kid out of them. Yeah,
Brandon's tall. Brandon,
he is.
DJ and me were discussing. I'm like, how tall is he? Is he 6'4" or 6'6"? And DJ's like, I swear he's 6'5", but he claims he's 6'4" though.
Yeah, we'll go with 6'4" just because he says he's 6'4".
Just a quick background too. If you don't know, DJ's, if not at one point, was probably the strongest guy training in this gym.
I don't know about all that.
Well, he could clean and jerk more than
Nick was training here at the same time that I was.
Yeah, so. But you could clean and jerk more than anyone has ever in the gym.
I do,
including an Olympic athlete with Nork Vardanian, like who has come in.
Well, he's clean and jerked more than
but
me,
not in the gym.
Not in the gym.
Not in the gym. Just saying, like.
But yes, I have clean.
Even though Russell's coming for your neck right now, and it seems like
he might get there.
Yeah. And Colt got you with the snatch. Did he get you with the snatch?
Yeah, Colt snatched 160. I never snatched 160.
All right.
Kilos,
yeah, not pounds.
Kilos, not pounds. Pounds would be not good.
Yeah. But so DJ's strong. And while he was doing a lot of that training, he was also coaching a lot of these guys coming up too. You can talk about actually how many hours you spent coaching these guys, probably relative to the hours Dane spent coaching these guys too. I'm sure
God. I mean, it's our formula, you know.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to come 4 days a week, every week until they graduate. So, I mean, with Nick and Brandon, back then when we were training, our workouts would probably tend to linger a little longer. So I'd probably say an hour and a half per session.
Yeah.
Sometimes intentional and sometimes just chatting it up too much. But yeah, countless hours. I don't even know how many hours that would be. At least 7-8 years of 4 to 6 hours a week.
Right? Yeah, you get 6 years, 4 hours a week. Well, 52 times 4, man, it adds up.
Yeah,
We're
it's
over like
rough.
1,000 hours plus.
Yeah.
Heck. So Brandon, 7th grade, bigger than everyone else, coming with essentially his high school cohort.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
There was a QB. It was him, a receiver, and then a lineman. And then I think another running back. Yeah, Cooper. Yeah.
Okay.
Cooper
And-
was a D1 athlete too at Wake Forest and Syracuse.
Big brain.
Yeah.
What type of numbers, like strength-wise, was Brandon showing starting out?
So, I mean, starting out, no one shows any really strength numbers, but
Yeah.
after training for a couple of years.
Now, let me preface that. They may have been reasonably strong, but like you come to Garage Strength and like you do stuff where you're strong with 99% of the population and they're like, you're not strong. Because
yeah,
like,
that's pretty fair.
yeah, like DJ was just saying I wasn't that strong. Literally guy who has snatched over 150 kilos, has clean and jerked over 200 kilos, just said I wasn't that strong. Like
I mean,
there's a
I didn't do nothing, so I wasn't that strong.
Oh my
I
goodness.
didn't make no teams.
You're results oriented.
Yeah. If I made a team, like one team. You know?
All right, imagine, let's say if you're a super heavyweight and you lifted between 1990 and 2002, you could get a gold medal in the snatch
With the numbers that I hit, yes, I understand that.
like with weights that like
you can't compare from then to now.
I'm
It's
just
different
saying.
Different athletes. Now
you're
there's
results
like-
oriented.
Now there's like 67 kilo athletes that do more weight than I did
Yeah, well,
as a 94 kilo athlete.
that's what happens when you have all that muscle naturally.
Yeah, real natural.
Don't get me started on American exceptionalism when it comes to weightlifting.
We're the cleanest country out there.
Yeah. For
I believe
sure.
that.
Probably, but I think it's just us not giving other people enough credit for what they're good at too.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
also start at like age 6. That
Yeah.
kind of helps. And that's kind of ties into Brandon and Nick is like
Starting young.
they started in 6th and 7th grade. So, 7th grade, you're what, 12?
Were they multi-sport athletes that young? Or were they
Yeah, they were. They both played football, basketball, and then they both did track too.
All right, so
Yeah.
they did a different sport every season,
Mm-hmm.
but still made time to come and train here.
Oh, yeah.
And I assume
In high school, they narrowed it down to 2 sports,
And-
which is I'm a big believer in
yeah.
getting the 2 sports when you hit like sophomore year.
Well,
different subject.
what should we call it? Wasn't it Aaron Judge was like a 3-sport like stud his whole life, and he's like, oh,
He's also like 6'7", like 240.
Whatever, like,
I mean, he can just show up and do some of those things.
so what?
Yeah. But in high school, they both just went to football and track.
Okay.
In the winter, I think Nick ran winter track, but like he still trained 5 days a week during that
Yeah.
season. That
It
was
was
an
like that was a
important one for
speed
him.
day.
Yeah, essentially. But yeah, in middle school, they both played 3 sports.
All right, give us some numbers around what these guys were doing.
So Brandon, and this is where you got to like, if you don't know who these athletes are, you can look them up or like visualize them. But Brandon's 6'4". He's always been kind of lanky. Like he's always had super long arms. He has a long torso, longer legs. Nick is, I think he's 6'1", but he's listed at 6 foot. He has long legs. He has a little bit of a shorter torso than Brandon. And he has relatively long arms, but nothing crazy. Like he's built like a running back. So Nick's a running back, and then Brandon's a a linebacker.
And Nick's nowhere near as tall as his dad, right?
No, Nick's as tall. He's probably as tall as his dad.
Man.
His dad's tall. Taller
Yeah, I was gonna
than
say. I
the
don't think
average human.
is he as tall as his brother too? I think Sean's
No,
taller.
his brother. Both of his brothers are taller than Nick. Actually, so
I only met Sean. I never met
his older brother, Christian. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Okay.
He's really tall. But then Sean, who's a freshman at KU now, he is like 6'2", 6'3", and he's a sprinter. So he's sprinting in college. But with Brandon and Nick, so like they, with their body types, they had lifts, at least for Brandon, that they weren't especially great at just because of the way that they were built. So, Nick, well, let's start with Brandon. So Brandon, his clean, so as a middle schooler, he cleaned 250, which is still legit.
Like a 114, 116, like a 114 kilo clean, about 110 is on there?
Yeah, like 112, 113.
Okay.
Kilo clean. 250 is still fantastic.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And the way that we do it here at Garage Strength is a middle schooler is considered a middle schooler until they enter 9th grade. So, like, your school year ends in June. You still have June to
summer.
August, to be considered still middle school. And then 9th grade year, when that starts,
Okay.
then you're a high schooler until same thing for college. Then when you go to college, you're considered a college athlete. So you could still have the summer leading up to college to still break high school records. Just so that people understand that.
Yeah.
These might have been like after their 8th grade year, but prior to their 9th grade year starting.
Okay.
But Brandon, 250 in middle school, which is still big, no matter what for a middle schooler. And then in high school, he did clean 300 in high school, which is really good for the way that he was built.
Yeah, he's super tall. And he wasn't training to be a weightlifter where it's like, yo, you got to just put on weight at that size. You have to become a super.
Right. He actually had a better snatch.
Yeah.
Relative to his clean. So
I can understand that.
In high school, he snatched, I don't have the snatch written down, but I do think that he snatched like 245 in high school.
Yeah, I've seen video of him doing that. Like he has it.
Or no, it was 115. He snatched 115 in high school. So 253. That's what he hit.
Very nice.
Which is, big for a
weightlifter,
Olympic weightlifting athlete.
Yeah.
To hit 253 on a snatch is
and he
big.
has good mobility.
And he's 6'4" at this point. Like he was 6'2", probably going into high school. And I think he grew like 2 inches.
And he was probably not in weightlifting shoes too.
Oh no, sneakers, dude.
Yeah,
for sure, sneakers. That's even when he comes home from pit now, he's lifting. He'll snatch in sneakers.
What else was he doing lift wise?
So yeah.
What about more of the absolute strength stuff?
Absolute strength for back squat. We're picking all the ones that are a little rough on him, but so back squat in middle school, his best was 315, which is big.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's like, oh, that kid had 3 plates coming out of 8th grade. Like, good.
And then in high school, he
also too, he's 6'4". Remember, you can't coach 6'4". Size.
And he does have like crazy mobility that he struggles to control with tightness at the bottom. He kind of like lets loose into the stretch reflex. He's like boom boom and kind of like caves in his upper torso. Then just caves forward. So that was kind of always his struggle with. That's where the clean on the squats killed him sometimes. Is like he'll back squat and then he hits that bottom and he's like letting loose at the bottom instead of staying tight through everything, and then he like folds forward a little. But yeah, squat middle school 315, high school 425. Pretty good.
All right.
For 6'4" kid that was going literally.
What about
like
a single leg squat though?
6 inches off the ground on a squat. Single leg squat. So single leg squat he was good at.
Yeah.
Single leg squat he was very good at. In middle school, 285 for 3 each leg, which is big. But then in high school, that was his big one. He hit 385 for 3 each leg.
Yeah.
In high school.
That's legit.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Like I think the biggest single leg squat we've ever had here was like 455 for 1. And that was a grown man shot putting.
Yeah.
So
That was Luke, right?
that was Luke.
Yeah.
So his single leg squat was huge for high school.
I feel like if
385.
Luke listens to this, he's going to comment that the number is much larger than that or something like that.
It might be.
I feel like he's done
I
500.
feel like he's attempted 500.
Yeah.
I don't think he hit 5.
I think
Maybe
he
did
has.
hit- I think actually, you know what? I think he did.
He has
hit
a Hatfield
5.
over 700, like a Hatfield
Yeah,
single
yeah.
leg one where he's like, "Oh, my arms will
Well,
bounce me."
I think DK had something like that too for Hatfield. Maybe it was just regular back squat then. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
But he
amazing.
does a lot too.
Hatfield's like a 20% increase, like that.
Oh, easily. Just from the stability and holding on to the bar there.
Yeah, it's
Give it a
essentially
little-
like a
little with
free
the
weight leg
arms.
press.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah,
I honestly never thought of it like that, but that's 100% of what it
like
is.
you
It's
can
like
just support your core more.
Yeah, it's a kind of makeshift
Yeah,
leg press.
nice way to overload the body too, to potentiate it if you wanted to.
That is a
As far as it gets you actually strong, yeah, I don't know.
when
As
you
much.
have that base strength, it does.
Yeah,
But if you're like a middle school kid single leg squatting 225, you shouldn't be doing Hatfield single leg squats.
no, not at all. All right, talk to me about some upper body stuff Brandon did.
So bench, again, he was good at bench, but never spectacular because
Long
his
arms.
wingspan is probably like 9 feet.
Yeah,
like
which
his arms are so long.
helps with making tackles.
Helps making tackles and helps getting off blocks.
Yep.
So that's why he's really good in the run game. Bench, middle school, 275, and then high school.
275 bench at middle school.
Still big. Still
Yeah, I
big.
know. That's why I'm laughing. Like,
And then in high school, he hit 335.
all right.
Still, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously D1 numbers.
He's not winning a powerlifting comp, but like he's
No.
definitely strong.
Yeah, strong, 6'4",
Yeah.
super long. Still huge numbers.
Yeah. What other numbers do you have with him? You have anything else? Like, do you have speed stuff,
So-
time stuff?
I don't have any speed stuff
Okay.
because we didn't have that kind of testing back then. It was more
Yeah.
specific towards strength aspects. But he did have a front squat in high school of 405, which is pretty huge front squat.
Pretty heavy relative to his back squat too,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
A 425 and a
he was
405.
He was
like,
better at front squat, and I
Forces
think a
you to
lot of
be more
that is
engaged.
yeah. You have to engage, otherwise you're gonna die. On
Yeah.
it. And then he did a 70 pounds hanging from him for curl ups for three
Oh.
reps, which is significant because a lot of high school kids can't even do like
Yeah.
5 body weight curl ups.
That's my favorite movement right now to train.
What weighted curl ups?
Weighted pull ups. The curl up actually bothers my elbows sometimes, just because it puts you in such a crazy stretch position at the bottom.
I mean, I don't even do pull ups no more. All it does is hurt my biceps, so I'm over it.
All right. Want to talk about Nick now? You want to give some of these numbers?
Yeah. Let's start with
Many late nights doing jumps, right, DJ?
Dude, when Nick was, coming in season, like when he was in track season, he was coming after practice,
Yeah.
so
And DJ was closing down the.
he'd come in 6:40 between anywhere from 6:45 to like 7:10, and we'd be working out until 8:15, 8:30 at night, and we were doing that.
T as well too. T has talked to me about that.
Yeah,
Being around, like closing up when he was coming in late,
yeah,
kind of like making sure he was able to do what he needed to do.
yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I always tell people with Nick is like, people see this kid now and they're like, oh, he's a freak. He's always been a freak. And like, that's not the case. Like, he's a freak. Yes. But when he first came in sixth grade he is when he first came. It was winter year of his 6th grade year during basketball season. I specifically remember this because we were at the barn and we had him snatch on the first day. We had him do overhead squats. So it was like snatch with the power snatch the bar. And then he did a couple overhead squats and he moved really well. And then we did some plyos with him because we were kind of like evaling him back when we didn't have like true evals, but we were just kind of testing where he was.
Give him the eye test.
And he reacted really quick on his plyo work, could jump high. Like, and then we talked to his dad afterwards, and like his dad was like, he's fast. So we knew he was like fast coming in, but he was a skinny little twig. Like he's, you know, I feel like to me, it's disrespectful to the work that he put in and his parents' sacrifice for him, because in 6th grade of that year, his winter year of 6th grade is when he started coming, and he came 4 days a week for 6 years straight until he went to college, and he did not miss 4 days. He missed the one time he couldn't come to the gym for 2 weeks because he got a B on his report card. And then when he came back the next 2 weeks, I made it the worst workouts he ever had, and I said that you better never do that again.
Better get an A.
So, and that was in like, I think that might have been like 8th grade or 9th grade when that happened.
Man.
It was actually middle school. It was 8th grade, because it wasn't in high school, because he never had anything in high school. He never got, I'm pretty sure it was a straight A in high school.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a testament to, one, him being bought in and committed at, you know, 11 turning 12 years old.
What's that,
His
like your
birthday's in
punishment is
January.
you can't go work out.
Right? So, you know, it's a testament to him buying in. It's his parents getting him here. You know, it sucks driving your kids everywhere, you know, like, but they were going in the track, and then they would come here right after, and that's a late night. You know, you're not getting home till 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Man, did I give his stats over the first 2 weeks?
Not yet. But
do we want to give those
just
first?
a shout out to Nick and his parents,
All right.
because I know you guys sacrificed, and everybody says you're a freak athlete now, but I know the work that you guys put in. So
right. Let's do
his stats for his first 2 weeks at Penn State, though.
Crushing
it.
You
got
ready
it.
for
You
these?
got it. You got it.
13 carries, 114 yards against West Virginia. He had 2 runs over 40, 1 for a touchdown.
Yeah.
13 yards
one
receiving.
Horse collared.
And that's why he didn't get the second one.
Yeah.
Someone had to
Grab the top of his.
Yeah. Now, the 40-yard touchdown run, he got clocked at a top speed of 21.8 miles per hour, which was the fastest in all of college football that week.
Dude, and the crazy part about that is that he probably only sprinted like maybe 25 of those yards. Maybe. Because he had a burst, top acceleration, and he slowed down like the last 10 because he was gone.
He's just like, I got this. And then week 2, 119 yards rushing against Bowling Green with a touchdown, and caught a 14-yard touchdown.
Yep.
So seems like he's doing pretty well on minimal touches.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't want to do the math, 9 yards per carry, which is absurd.
Yeah. It's like playing like NCAA, and you have like all the stats maxed out.
I mean, dude, he's nasty in NCAA.
Is he?
Play with that? Yeah.
Nah, I only play. DJ, don't you listen to the podcast? I play Elden Ring.
I know.
I PR'd my Elden Ring playthrough 2 playthroughs ago. All remembrances and major bosses. So it's basically like all the 10 DLC, the 15 in the main, and then Bail in the DLC. I know it means nothing to you,
I
but
have
still.
no idea what any of that means.
We got a comment from someone on the YouTube about, this was the last podcast I thought would go on a sidetrack about Elden Ring. Whoa. Did I just break something?
Oh, man.
Nah, I didn't fall, so we're good. All right. So Nick's crushing it right now.
Yeah.
This is true junior year?
This is his true junior year.
Yes.
Yep.
No red shirt on him.
Nope.
And he was young when he went too, right? Like he wasn't.
I mean, he's still young. So
Like he's
his
20.
birthday's in January.
He turns 20, or does he turn 21 in January?
He turns 21 in January.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Nick's middle school bench. Get ready for this number. Middle school, he hit 325 on bench, which is just absurd.
Yeah, that's unreal.
The most high schoolers won't hit 325.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
a lot
hit
of
it
weight.
as an 8th grader. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And then in high school he hit 425.
All right.
So before he went up to Penn State, 425, which is massive. Front squat, he hit 365 in middle school, which is dumb. That's just massive. And then in high school, he hit 425. At least that's what we have recorded. I feel like he might have hit more on that one because that doesn't seem as significant as a jump. But
these are front squats.
He did clean 352, so that's pretty massive. In back squat, he hit 425 as a middle schooler. So in 8th grade, he back squatted 425. And then in high school, he back squatted 525.
Yeah, jeez.
And then I think this past year at Penn State, they have a video of him doing 550
for reps
for like 5 or 6 reps.
Yeah,
which that video went like viral, and it's just absurd. He did hit 365 clean spring, so like he graduated early in winter, and then in spring he went up to Penn State. So he never really finished his senior year. I mean, he finished his senior year of schooling, but he didn't get to finish it out through June. So even, he didn't have like 6 months of where he could have put these numbers even higher. But when he was in spring ball at Penn State, he hit 365 clean. So as a freshman,
he's very strong and fast.
Yeah. I mean, and that's again him being consistent.
Yeah.
And training 4 days a week for 6 years straight.
I'm sure he's training just as consistent out there now.
Oh, dude, their schedule's absurd.
Multiple times.
Their schedule is wild. They have it's 6 days, I believe. And I think 3 or 4 of them are doubles. Now, they do a lot of a strength and a speed workout. But yeah, they're we only see Nick home once a week during the entire year. So they get a break at 4th of July, and he'll come in and do he'll come in and he'll do a plyo day, and then he'll come in and do a buys tries day. That's his off time. So we can't come in and be like, yo, you got to clean. He's
like, nah.
He's in off mode at that point. So he comes in and doing. He likes what he wants to do then. So he likes doing plyos, likes doing buys tries. So
who doesn't like plyos?
Who doesn't like buys tries?
I don't.
Well, that's because you got torn. You got torn pec. You got torn pec, not a bicep.
Actually, I tore this one in high school. I just didn't know what it was because I remember the blood pooling in. I was like, I did something.
Jeez.
And this one's torn real bad.
I tweaked mine doing dumb stuff when I'm old.
Yeah.
Because Brady Miter, an Iowa thrower from here, was benching the 160s, I think. And he took it. He asked me to put it on his leg, and I told him no. And then he put it on his leg and then brought it back and couldn't get a rep. And I was like, I could do that for 3 right now. He's like, do it. And no warm-up, I did it for 3, but my left pec has never been the same since. It's not good.
Jeez. Way to show up the young kids, DJ.
Yeah. Too old now. Once you're over 30, stop doing
That's why you're
stuff.
only snatching 50 kilos every time I go down there and make fun of you.
I'm up to 60 now. I'm up to 60 kilos now.
All right. Well, DJ, thanks for sharing some knowledge on GS athletes that are having success at the D1 level in football and basically what their strength numbers were coming through since middle school. So whoever's listening, dads, kids, whatever, hey, here's where it's at. These are clear demarcations of what 2 different sized athletes, 2 different position athletes, different levels of recruitment, but both D1 at schools, and hey, these were the numbers they hit. This doesn't necessarily say oh, you can hit these, it means you're good at football, but there's a little bit of a correlation. Hey, if you can do this, you're more likely to be faster. You're more likely to be able to hold up against the bigger bodies.
You're about to take some heat.
Why?
If any Pittsburgh University fans are out there, they're gonna hit you with that one.
Whatever.
Saying different types of recruitment.
Sorry.
They're same level, man. Same level.
Yeah.
That's what Pitt says.
Yes, they are. Probably. I root for LSU, so none of them are the same because they're not an SEC, but that's just me.
Dang.
Yeah.
Not more shots.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll take those ones all day. I'll defend that one. Because even if LSU's not winning the national title, it's probably Georgia or Alabama. What, you have Ohio State, who can compete? Who else? That's what I thought.
Should make a wager that Penn State makes it to the finals this year.
I have no. I hope they do.
Come on.
If it will make people happy, I hope it happens for those people.
That's fair.
I don't root against anyone. I just root for LSU, and then I root
Penn
for
State
SEC
and Pitt
afterwards.
and Temple.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I like Temple.
Cam,
That's where my
Brandon,
daughter
Nick.
graduated from. Like Temple's cool.
And then we got the two guys at Penn State and Pitt. So
Yeah.
you got to root for them too.
All right. Until next time, you have to do the piece. I say later.
Oh man, I gotta do the piece.
Or you can create your own. You can just say bye-bye, everyone.
See you later, freaks. Peace.
Later. Hey, everybody.